Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this evening's video, if you will. You know, for you all that have followed my channel, some of you all may have heard this story before. It's the story of an individual who almost killed somebody, basically over a slice of cheesecake. Now, I've told this story on my channel before, but I ran into the individual that was involved into the altercation or what have you. This was several years ago. But he was involved in the altercation, so it really brought back memories. I seen this guy on the streets, and it was like, whoa, that's the dude that got into it over a slice of cheesecake. So what we gonna do, we gonna rewind all the way back, and I'm gonna paint a picture, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how the situation went down. Had to do an extra long rewind. For you all that don't know, I'm not editing right now, so I just have to do my manual rewinds from time to time. But at any rate, we was at a prison camp. Now, the prison camp is totally different from an actual prison. Still dangerous people there. You're still incarcerated. Difference is it's low-level security inmates, and there's no fence. So when there's no fence, people literally can just walk off. You're supposed to be like trusted inmates. So, you're trusted not to walk off. So we're at this camp or what have you, and we were in the dorm one evening. Now, actually, it wasn't the evening time. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I remember because it was right before shift change. So we're in the dorm. We're an open dorm. An open dorm basically just means everybody's housed essentially in one room, and your room, your space is separated by cubicles that are about 3.5, 4 feet high. So you're separated from everybody by cubicles. Actually, they're not cubicles. They're like little walls, but nevertheless, I'm sure you all get the point. So dude was sitting on his bed, man, and I never will forget. He was so happy, man. It was a white dude. He was probably, at the time, he may have been, I don't know, 40 at best. And he was sitting on his bed, man, and he had a piece of cheesecake he was eating. And, in prison, I always tell people, the commissary, you can buy pretty much whatever you are able to buy out here on the streets, you can buy in the prison commissary. So they had made a cheesecake for him, and he was eating, I guess it was his last slice of cheesecake, or perhaps, he shared the rest of it. Nevertheless, he was eating a piece of cheesecake. He's sitting on the bed, like I said. He was about 40 years old. White guy, probably about 5'11", maybe weighed about 170, 175, wasn't even a big guy. And when he walked, he kind of walked kind of with a hunch in his back. He didn't stand tall, he kind of walked with a hunch in his back. Quiet dude, never bothered anybody. I'm talking about, man, to give you the shirt off of his back. So the individual that I'm speaking of that I ran into today, this is what sparked this story. Because when I seen the dude back then, he was a youngster. He was maybe 25 years old, loud, big dude, because he went to the weight pile all the time. So he was constantly, lifting weights and thinking that he was bigger and tougher than everybody else. Had a long, loud voice, aggressive, typical young dude in prison. So he comes in the dorm one day, straight off the weight pile. He's feeling himself. He got his shirt off. He's sweating. He's bulked up or whatever. You know how it is right after you leave the weight pile or whatever, for you all that work out. That blood is pumping in your body or whatever, so you feel way bigger than you really are. So he comes in the dorm and, he's roo, rah, rah, who want it? But he's playing, but anybody can get me today. He's going through that or whatever. Typical penitentiary lingo. So he goes up to the dude, because they were like in the same cubicle. They got 2 beds on the left side, which one on the bottom, one on top, 2 beds on the right side. So 4 people are to a cube. Everybody has a locker, and there's a desk that everybody shares. So that's the entirety of a cubicle. So he walks into the cube or what have you. I'm the next cube over. Mind you, the walls that are separating the cubicles are only, like I said, 3.5, 4 feet high. So you're going to see and pretty much hear everything that's going on. Even if you're minding your business, you can't help but at least at bare minimum see or hear it. So the dude, he comes in, all rah, he's hyped up or whatever, straight off the weight pal. And he walks in. The dude, we're just going to call the dude, I don't remember his name, so we're just going to call him John. We'll call him John. Youngster, we'll just call him Youngster. Actually, his name was Black, to be honest. That's what he went by, Black. I mean, he was kind of black, you know what I'm saying? And that's how they do in penitentiary. If you're real black, what's up, Black? If you're real light, what up, white boy? What up, albino? Penitentiary, man, they give you all type of nicknames, and it'll just stick with you. So Black walks in, like I said, he sees John eating his cheesecake, not bothering nobody. So he's like, man, you got your cheesecake, man? He's like, yeah, man, it's my birthday, man. So John's like, okay, happy birthday. Well, Black's like, happy birthday too, John. John's like, man, I appreciate you, man. He's like, man, let me get a piece of that cheesecake though. So John is like, you want a piece of my cheesecake? He was like, yeah, he was like, man, it's my birthday. I'm celebrating. It's the only thing that I really been wanting is a cheesecake. John didn't have a lot of money sent in to him. So basically what ended up happening was some of his buddies or what have you, they knew it was his birthday. They knew he loved cheesecake. So they went to the commissary, bought him a cheesecake, and brought him over a couple slices. That's actually what it was. See, it's coming back to me. Like I said, it's been a long time. So as I tell the story, the vividness. Can you even say that? The vividness. It becomes more vivid. I'm just acting silly. It becomes more vivid. So he's telling me, listen, man, this is the only slice that I got, man. And, it's my birthday. This is all I wanted. I'm enjoying my cheesecake. And he's smiling when he's talking because he's proud. He's happy. He got a slice of cheesecake. So Black is like, damn, man, we petty like that, man? We petty over a piece of cake? John's like, nah, buddy, it's nothing like that, man. Man, you better than that. It's just that this is all I got, man. If I had a whole, a bigger slice or, more pieces or what have you, or a whole pie or whatever, I'd give you a slice, but this is all I got. So Black gets to run in his mouth or whatever. Yeah, all right, man, I'm sick of y'all, man. Y'all gonna make me bloop out in here. Y'all keep trying me. He's basically just arguing with himself for no reason. Nobody has said anything to him. Again, he's hyped. He's coming off the weight pile. He done probably, I don't know, been out there lifting 365, 385, because he's a big dude, man. Black was about, like I said, he was a young dude, 24, 25. He was probably, they was about the same height, about 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot, probably weighed. I'm not really good with guessing weight. He was probably about 240. He was a big dude, man. He wasn't real cut up, but he was defined. He just wasn't, shredded or whatever. Young dude, young strength. Had dreads in his hair or whatever. So, he was kind of intimidating. And, he's talking. I'm sick of y'all, man. Next thing you know, he goes up to John's cheesecake, takes his finger and sticks his finger in the cheesecake and licks it. Man, this is a good this is a good cheesecake, man. So now John is sitting there with the cheesecake in his hand, and he's like, bro, why would you do that? Why would you stick your finger in my cheesecake like that? Very, very humble. Black's like, look, man, I told you give me a piece of cheesecake and you didn't want to give it to me, so I took it. And you keep on, I'm going to take the rest of it. John's like, man, listen, man, I don't want no trouble. I'm just trying to go home. I think John was close to going up for parole. Any sort of write-up is a hiccup in your process of making it back home. That's how prison is, the danger of prison. You can be in prison under your best behavior. Next thing you know, you find yourself in the hole. And then the people on the street, see, he ain't learned. He's still in there getting in trouble. Well, it's very, very easy to get in trouble in prison, especially when it comes to defending yourself. Because when you get into a fight in prison, guess what? They're not trying to see who started it. Nah, both parties are going to the hole. You're going to the hole. 15 days in the hole. Now, if you were just defending yourself and it's able to be captured on camera, or somebody comes to your defense, which is rare, but let's say a CEO or somebody sees it and they say, nah, man, this guy was just defending himself. He didn't have nothing to do with it. Okay, you may do 3 or 4 days in the hole a week, but you going to the hole, point blank. John's trying to avoid the whole confrontation. Listen, bro, if you want the cheesecake at bad, here, man, you can have it, man. You can have the cheesecake. Next thing you know, Black, he's still running. He's still popping off. Now he's putting his finger in John's face. Just talking reckless to him, man. I'll beat you to death in here. Anybody that want a piece of me, So, he's just running it for no reason. John's like, listen, man. You might want to remove your finger out of my face, man. I done told you, already ruined my cheesecake moment. My birthday is all I wanted, but hey, just back up, please. I'm asking you to back up. Black didn't get it. He didn't get it. What you gonna do, white boy? Huh? What you gonna do? I don't know why some, not all, but I don't know why some black dudes feel as though the white boys can't fight, man. I don't know where they're getting this notion at. I don't know. Man, them white boys will F you up in penitentiary, on the street, wherever. So I don't know where this notion is coming from. I mean, dudes know MMA. They know how to make you tap out. They know how to, plus they got hands, man. So, he's going through the whole white boy thing or whatever. Next thing you know, John tells him one more time, hey, man, you might want to back up. I'm going to just tell you one more time. Well, what you going to do? Huh? My mouth ain't bleeding. That was a saying back then. My mouth ain't bleeding. I don't see no blood, trickling down on typically people say, my shirt ain't red. Blood from, trickling down on your shirt. But he didn't have a shirt on. So, he's going through all the penitentiary dumb lingo that people say. You can send me to the hole. I do the rest of my time in the hole. You can send me to the hole. John stands up. Listen, man. I'm begging you. Please leave me alone. Please. Man, Black squared up like he was going, got in a fighting position or whatever. Man, next thing I know, BOW! I've seen a lot of fights in prison. I've been in some fights in prison. Didn't win them all, didn't lose them all. I've seen some people get the brakes beat off of them in prison. Listen, man, I have never seen a dude get hit so hard and flush. It was like, when he hit him, it was like, that's how it sounded. Like a Mack truck and he hit him so flush right here, like caught him right there on the jaw. He hits him, dude is instantly out on his, excuse me. You ever seen somebody get knocked out? Well, typically when you get knocked out, you fall to the ground. Dude hit him so hard, boom, that when he hit him, his back went up against the wall. Remember I said the wall was like 3.5, 4 feet high. He's laid out like this, knocked out on his feet. On his feet, he's knocked out. John could have walked away at that point. John hits him again. Boom! Hit him again, woke him up. He wakes up. I'm seeing this. I can't believe my eyes. I'm seeing this. So dude wakes up. He's kind of like stacked. He don't know what's going on. He's trying to put his arm, his hands up. John hits him again with the other hand. Boom! Now he done hit him 3 times. I believe he went back to sleep that 3rd time he hit him. John hit him again. Boom! 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 I'm talking about every time he hit him. Man, he hit that boy. I know he hit him a solid 10 to 12 times. Man, blood was flying out. There was a styrofoam tray, or a styrofoam box, or what have you, and it was on the desk that was next to the wall, had blood in it. It was full of blood, man. It was blood all on the beds. It was blood all on the floor. John's just hitting him. Boom, 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 boom. What we didn't know was, this is what we didn't know. John knew how to box. Like, he knew how to MMA and all that stuff. Like, legitimately on the street, that's what he did. As I mentioned before, he was about 5'11", probably 165, 170, and he walked kind of with a hunch over his back. Nobody knew that this dude had hands, man. And it was like when he was throwing his punches, it was like his arms was long, so he's boom, and he's pulling it back, boom, boom, boom. Like, he's connecting on this dude, and he's hitting him flush every single time he's hitting him. I'm talking about it's gruesome, man. It's so gruesome. So it's blood everywhere. Nobody wants to break it up because, for one, a lot of people, they were low-key. They were kind of happy that youngster, that Black, was finally getting his issue because people were sick and tired of him. He just got away with a lot of stuff because, again, we're in a prison camp. People's trying to go home. People are letting things slide, opposed if he was behind that fence, behind that wall, he probably wouldn't be acting like that. Again, he probably would be acting like that because he'd probably be with his homeboys and his strength in numbers. So, but nevertheless, this dude got beat so bad, we thought he was dead. We thought Black was dead. Black wasn't so black. Black was blue. Black was purple. Black was red. We thought Black was dead. So he's laid out. The COs come in. They catch it on camera. They all come in 7 or 8 deep. They see what's going on or whatever, and they look and see that it's John, and it's like, what's going on, John? You know, because John is a quiet guy, never bothered anybody. He never created no trouble. Give you the shirt off his back, and he didn't even barely have a lot. They end up taking John out. They didn't even cuff John up. Typically, they'll cuff you up. They took John out. They brought the stretcher in. They had to bring the ambulance in for Black. And when I say the ambulance, I'm talking about the real live ambulance. If he had been in one of those small town penitentiaries, they would have airlifted him out of there. Because they would have had to take him to like a local university hospital. It just so happened to where we were located at, they had a university hospital there. The ambulance came in. It was terrible, man. He wasn't moving. It was a gruesome scene. The COs later told us that he had to have reconstructive surgery on his face. Because when dude was hitting him, again, he know how to box. He knows how to fight. Like, he legitimately knew how to fight. So his hands was like weapons. So every time he hit him, he's cutting him. Boom, boom, boom. And he's so calm the whole time, you never even would have known that he even got into a fight, other than the blood that was on his shirt. Never said a word, never talked trash. Man, he beat the living ish out of that dude, man. And that just goes to show you can never, ever judge a book by its cover. Never think that just because somebody's quiet, just because somebody's humble, they don't say much, they have mannerisms, they might allow you to get away with a couple things. Don't think that they just soft. It's just that their mind is focused on something different. See, Black didn't know what John knew, but John knew what John knew, if that makes any sense. That's why he kept telling me, please, I'm begging you, man, just... here, you can have the cheesecake. Just please leave me alone, man. He was warning him right there, like, listen, man, I'm really, really about to hurt you. So just let it be. Just leave me alone, man. So the COs, like I said that, the kid obviously lived because I seen him today. But at the time, nobody really knew. The COs were saying that, he had to have reconstructive surgery. Now, as for John, typically outside charges would follow. Typically an assault charge, and in which he would get additional time on top of the time that he already had. But some inmates spoke up for him. Nah, man, that guy John was minding his business. I didn't speak up for him, but there were some inmates that spoke up, went in the office, because anytime anything like that happens, they interrogate everybody. Me, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. But some guy spoke up, man. That man was sitting on his bed, minding his business. Dude came in, stuck his finger in his cheesecake, put his finger all in his face, talked to him crazy, was calling him racial slurs, which, white boy, that's what he was calling him. But, that's what they were telling the team that investigated or whatever. And don't you know that not only did they not press charges, he went to the hole, he got transferred, but his write-up, actually the write-up never happened. I'm sorry, you all seen somebody I know blew my horn. But the write-up never happened. The write-up was dismissed, actually. It happened, but it got dismissed. He was never convicted of the write-up, so he was able to see the parole board. When he seen the parole board, he went home, and that never, ever counted against him. I've never run into John to this day, but as I mentioned, I seen Black earlier today. He didn't really look any different. If he had reconstructive surgery, this was over 10 years ago. So maybe if he did, maybe everything came back. He was still the same. He was cool. He was laid back, but he knew I knew. You see what I'm saying? So he's going to be humble in front of me. And not to mention, he's older now. So perhaps, actually it was longer than 10 years ago. This was probably 15 years ago. So he's older now. He's probably about 40 now, which that was the age John was when the situation originally occurred. You see some crazy things in prison. A lot of times people think that you got to be at the roughest, toughest prisons. Man, I see the most violence in county jails. County jails, it really, really, really goes down because there's no room to breathe. You stuck in a cell all day with 15, 20 people. The cell's only meant to really hold about 8, 9, 10 people. You got one toilet, one shower, one TV. You may have 2 phones. 9 times out of 10, one of them is going to be broke. It's loud. People slamming dominoes all night, just playing poker, just being loud, obnoxious, working out. It's just loud. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. But this was at a prison camp. A prison camp. Hey, I'm telling you, man, he was hitting that boy so hard, and his punches was just flush, and they were fast. He's hitting it, he's pulling it right back, and then he came with the other. Hey, he was hitting that boy so hard. I thought I was afraid. I was afraid because of just that sound that. I mean, every time he hit him, and you could just tell the way he was throwing his punches. He's throwing from the shoulders, man. He wasn't just throwing his arms. He's throwing from the. You know what I'm saying? You knew from the very first punch that he knew something. You knew, even let's just say he didn't connect that first punch. You knew Black was in trouble, man. This dude knew something. You ran up on the wrong person, man. You ran up on the wrong person. So I bet Black didn't run up on nobody no more. So for all y'all out there, and like I said, not everybody. I'm not talking to everybody. I'm just talking about the ones, man, them white boys, a white boy never whooped me. Yeah, all right. Okay. Go to penitentiary. Which you don't got to go to penitentiary to see that. Man, I done seen some white boy. I done seen the black dudes get down too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted now. Don't get it twisted. Mexicans, the Mexicans, they fight to death, though. They pulling out knives and they gonna fight to death. But I'm saying, them white boys, man, they know that MMA, man, they get down. They get down, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about the Cincinnati white boys, man. You know what I mean? One of my future videos, I'm gonna let y'all in on the Cincinnati white boys, man, out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Hard. You know what I'm saying? Pause though. Double pause. But yeah, I seen Black today, man, and it made me reflect back to that moment, because that's the only thing that I could really think of. He was a youngster. We didn't kick it. We didn't hang around with it. He was just loud and obnoxious, man. You know, he lucky to be alive, man. He's lucky to be alive. As hard as he was getting hit. And I wanted to really ask him, hey, man, I know it was a long time ago, but do you, really remember what happened? Because a lot of times, man, when you fight and you get knocked out or sometimes you don't remember what happened. So, I've been knocked out before. And I kind of remember, but I don't remember. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to really ask him, hey, bro, do you recall what happened? Do you understand the magnitude of what he did to you? There was no let up in John. Once he let him fly, once it's up, it's up. You know, he could have walked away after he hit him the first time, but again, that's why he was telling him, please leave me alone. Please, I'm begging you. John beat that boy to death, man. And if security didn't come in, the COs, ain't no telling, he probably would have killed him, man. He probably would have killed him because he wasn't stopping. See, when you get in a prison fight, man, the dude's whole objective is to put on what's called a demonstration. They're going to put on a demonstration. So the next person that thinks about trying you, guess what? I remember he did this to them. Nah. I done seen dudes get stomped out, man, all the way unconscious. He was unconscious, on his feet. Eventually he fell. But I'm saying, I done seen dudes be unconscious, all the way out, knocked out. and dudes are just still stomping them. Stomping them. It's the dangers of prison, man. You youngsters, man, y'all take heed. You take heed, man. Lions, tigers, and bears. Gorillas, man. Straight gorillas in the penitentiary, man. Gorillas, man. Ain't no guns in there. Nah, ain't no guns. They got knives, but everybody can't just get their hands on a knife like that. It ain't like TV. It ain't like you just be walking around with a knife. And nah, it's a little bit more difficult than that, man. Y'all take heed, man. Ain't no place you want to be. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. It kind of sound like Black getting hit. Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, let's rewind. Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, hey, he wasn't funny then, but it's funny now, and he deserved that. He deserved that. I mean, you stick your finger in a man's cheesecake, and then this is a pretty good cheesecake. He lucky he didn't die, man. Real Kids TV.